So today we're going to talk about how indeed Jesus is a serpent. It's kind of humorous when I hear people going on about, snakes don't eat dirt. I'm kind of thinking, well, doesn't that make you a rocket scientist? This is when, once again, I tell people, probably be in your best interest to get a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, a Bible, a dictionary, and learn how to use the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Here we have, introducing us in Genesis 2, the serpent. And as we learned, the serpent was actually the very first man created, the oldest man in history, and in all manner perfect. You see that the word serpent means a tempter to get people involved with the signs and the omens and the covenants in heaven. Okay? The serpent is a man. Okay? A man. Not a little snake. A man. Now, the story continues where, the serpent told Eve what he told her. Well, Yahweh says, in the day you eat it, you shall die. The serpent tells Eve, on the day you eat it, you won't die. You're just going to be like him, knowing good and evil. The serpent never told Eve she would not die. He just said, on the day you eat it, you won't die. Become like God, knowing good and evil. Yahweh says, on the day you eat it, you shall surely die. The serpent, he did not lie. He told the truth. On the day Eve ate of it, she did not die. Okay? Their eyes were open, and she became like God, knowing good and evil. Alright? And the serpent never told Eve that she would not ever die. Okay? So truly, the serpent did not lie. He might have used some unspecific speech there, but he never told Eve she would not die. He just said, on the day you eat of it, you won't die. Now, on to this, where Yahweh tells the serpent, because you've done this, you're cursed, and on your belly you shall go and eat dust all the days of your earth. Alrighty, on his belly he shall go and eat dust all of his days on the earth. This right here reveals that the serpent was going to be born upon the earth. The word humiliation is symbolic for dust. And dust is symbolic for humiliation. To eat humiliation all of his days on the earth. A man who was going to be born upon the earth. On his belly he shall go. And he was going to eat the dust, the humiliation of the earth, all of his days. Until the day he was lifted up to the Most High. You see this? And all you people thought you were so ingenious because you said, snakes don't eat dirt. Yeah, wow, you're so ingenious. Okay? The Bible uses a lot of symbolism, figurativism, euphemisms, and there's a lot of unspecific speech going on. And that's why they always say you need spiritual wisdom to figure out this book. And it shows it when a lot of people are thinking, oh, snakes don't eat dirt. Oh, I'm so smart. Yeah, you are smart. I'm smart too. I know snakes don't eat dirt either. And that's what caused me to grab up a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance and start checking out this story about a serpent eating dirt. Okay? It says a serpent is going to be born upon the earth, eat humiliation all of his days upon the earth, and then he's going to be lifted up. Crucified, impaled, lifted up. The word lifted up in Hebrew means two things. To be exalted on high, it also means to be impaled. Now we're going to travel into the New Testament. Okay? Now, we got this guy who comes on the scene, and meanwhile he comes on the scene, the writer of John is screaming, the Antichrist is coming, the Antichrist is coming, the Antichrist is coming. We're in our last hour, little children. The Antichrist is coming. There's been many Antichrists, but the Antichrist is coming. We see that the word mark means a pointed stake, a stake sharpened to a point, a palisade, a rampart, a mound, as is written in the scriptures. Well, Jesus went out carrying his own stake. That's what the word cross means. A palisade stake. And I hope people know a palisade is equivalent to modern day privacy fences. There's a picture of a palisade. And he went onto a mound outside of the city, one of the gates of Jerusalem, where the Roman soldiers used to build ramparts around the city, and they fenced him down with stakes. The word mark is symbolic. It means the cross. Beast means the Antichrist, preparing the destruction of mankind, and a trap. Okay, that's what mark of beast means. Now, Jesus eventually tells his disciples that he's going to be lifted up. He also goes about his business, and there's one little verse here that says that he decided that he would start to tell them everything concerning him since the beginning of time. But you really don't find too much in the Old Testament about a man they call Jesus. You don't ever see that word, that name in the Old Testament. Okay? Then Jesus comments about how it behooves the Son of Man to be lifted up. The serpent was told, you are going to be born upon the earth. You're going to eat humiliation all the days of your life. And then you shall be lifted up to the Most High. Jesus is the only one recorded in the New Testament that has any kind of great importance and who is revered as being lifted up, impaled, or as many call it, crucified. Jesus is a serpent. Here we have a story where Jesus admits that he was the first man created. Before the earth was created, before the dust of the earth was created, before the dirt was created, before the land and the seas and the waters were separated, he was the very first created. We're told that the serpent was the very first man ever to be created. He was the oldest existing being besides God himself. And this passage makes that also clear and true. I mean, come on, folks. What do you think the Bible means when it said, he was with God in the beginning? Was is a past tense word. I suppose this is when a dictionary could come in handy. I was at the store. I was at my friend's house. I was here. I was there. I was planning on, but I changed my mind. Why do you think it says he was, past tense, with God in the beginning? Because the one that they call God, he was standing right there with him in the beginning, and he told Eve, on the day you eat of it, you won't die. You'll just be like God, him, knowing good and evil. Okay? Jesus is a serpent. Okay? They kind of keep that hush-hush in the Bible. And you got to kind of scrounge around a little bit with the Strongs to see this little piece of information there. So instead of just reading the verse and going, oh man, snakes don't eat dirt, this is stupid and retarded, and casting the book out to the side, it probably would have been maybe in some people's best interest, instead of walking around looking crazy, to find out what the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance is, and taking the time to learn how to use that book, and you would have figured it out yourself quite simply. Jesus is a serpent. Okay? Jesus indeed is a serpent.